Hey everybody, welcome back to Mildly Infuriating, brought to you by our sponsor. Why is he wearing a beanie for the first time in years? Well, it's because I'm teasing the relaunch of Quality Content 2.0, which isn't available for sale yet, but when it is, it'll be at qualitycontent.com. It's not set up yet, so you're gonna go over there and there's not gonna be anything, so don't worry about it. But just trying to, build up a little bit of hype, show you what it sort of will look like. There will be other designs and stuff, but yeah, I think it's looking pretty swick. Also check out the like button down below the video, give it a click, and let's start off with number 19. I don't know how this dishwasher liquid got in the cup, but it's not gonna come out. Wait, is it? Oh, it's inside the, what the heck? Wait, how did it get in there if no matter what you do and how you move the thing around, it won't come out? What in the world? I wonder if it's a situation where it's such a teeny tiny little hole that it actually won't let the water go out because the air can't flow in, and so the air pressure just keeps the water inside no matter what you do. But how did the water get in the first place? Maybe it expanded with the heat in the dishwasher and then it let the liquid in and now you're just totally screwed. Either that, you have to like hold it in the sun until the glass heats up really, really hot, and then maybe you'll let the water out. I don't know, hopefully you didn't spend a bunch on that. Hopefully you can just get a new one because that's really annoying. All this luxury and still, yo, what is that? Wait, that looks really cool. It looks a little bit like an Aston Martin Valkyrie. Activate windows. I don't know if that car is Vaporware and it's just like a rolling chassis. Wami! Never heard of Wami before. Looks cool. I've never seen the fender flares or the fender vents over the rear. Kinda interesting. It looks cool. I don't know if we'll ever end up seeing it on the road. It seems like it's kind of the in thing these days to release some sort of prototype development thing for some fancy hypercar, and then it never actually makes it to the road. So hopefully this one will not be that, and we'll see it out there. Wami, I'll be looking out for you. It looks nice. It looks pretty cool. One of the holes in my laptop speakers is slightly off. I feel like this is one of those, once you see it, you'll never, oh, there it is right there. Yeah, once you see it, you can never unsee it. Also, Bang & Olufsen is supposed to be like top tier, super fancy stuff. How could they do this? You were in charge of quality control for the fanciest speakers ever to be put into a laptop. How could one of the vents not line up properly? I wonder if this is the case for every single one of the laptops, like the stamp that they use at the factory is just off. And so every single laptop that comes off the assembly line has that one little hole that's just like slightly off. And that part will be like hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a new replacement. And they're just like, it's not worth it. Surely nobody will notice, oh, it's one of the top of the last month. I'm mildly infuriating. Well, shoot, it's good publicity anyway. I get mad every time I walk past this. What? It's like the textures didn't properly connect when placing down a couple of doors in Minecraft. Yes, he equates everything to Minecraft. Don't worry about it. But when you place down doors in Minecraft, two doors next to each other, they act like a double door when you open them, right? It's like that didn't happen here, and instead of placing the doors down, they automatically go double door. It was like, here, have two single doors next to each other, and you're like, that's not what I wanted, Minecraft. Why would you do this to me? Please fix it. They went with Seaspiracy instead of conspiracy. Netflix, Seaspiracy. You had one job. Yo, if you want some wordplay or pun expertise, Netflix, hit me up. I got you, okay? How did you had such an easy opportunity here. It was perfect. And you just, I wonder if conspiracy, the way that the title had it spelled, is somehow like it's trademarked. Somebody else has it. It's too good for somebody else not to have that trademarked, and I bet that's the problem. Someone actually came up with conspiracy inside of Netflix, and then the lawyers went over and they're like, yeah, sorry, it's not gonna fly. We're gonna get a cease and desist. So we know Seaspiracy kind of sucks, but we don't have many other options here. Sorry, guys. When a plug covers the outlet next to it, oh God, story of my life, story of your life, story of everyone's lives. Then you get the power strips that like have extra real estate for the larger plugs so that they don't overlap with the others. But then you're like, all that extra real estate could just be used for more plugs. Oh God. But also it's like, couldn't you have just kind of shifted over the things so that I'm already putting it on the end slot so that it only impacts one rather than overlapping another? Why do you have to make both side overlap with an adjacent outlet? Come on. I make sure to put down my plugs in a particular order so that they impact the minimum amount of adjacent slots, and you're really ruining me here. Went to Pakistan to visit my cousin, saw this monstrosity. Yeah, it's a little off center. You would think that, I don't know, you would install one first, and then you'd ensure you could center the next on top of it, and if the circuitry made it so that the fan had to be there, then center the star on top, but it's not. Why would you, at that point, why would you even keep the star there? Why wouldn't you just make the roof just a white roof or ceiling? It's just not worth it at that point. There was an incident with the coffee. Oh, I didn't even know what that meant because what? You can get eggs inside of what looks to be a milk carton? Oh yeah, I would totally accidentally pour that into something I was looking to add milk into. I don't know if the mildly infuriating is the fact that it looks like milk, and therefore I could totally understand how you made this mistake, or it's like, you should have known that it was eggs. Bro, can you imagine? That doesn't look like, it's more goopy than is that very spoiled milk? I would not even know if the thing were unlabeled. I'd just be confused. I don't even think the fact that it could be eggs would even register in my mind. Just be like baffled as to what happened. Is it like blended up yolk and white? Just egg white? What is it? Rich, get richer by this. Oh, this guy, he's gonna go under the parking arm. This is mildly infuriating. This is the mildly infuriating subreddit. Does this fit mildly infuriating? Nobody tell him that I've done this. I mean, I did it was already validated. Okay, I ate food at the place and then, Nobody say anything. But also, can I just say, taking your nice car into a busy parking garage is definitely more trouble than it's worth, because A, you have to worry about the driveways and stuff, and are you gonna scrape on the way in, on the way out? Am I gonna find parking that's away from all the other cars? If not, am I gonna worry about getting door dinged because the car is wider than usual? Will people be careful? Will they run a shopping cart into it? So at the end of the day, it's probably not a common occurrence, and they probably knew that they were gonna make it under the bar because they've tested it or had a spotter before. The speed that they went under that, there's no way that they were risking it, because if they didn't know in advance, they'd be like, am I gonna hit? I had someone spotting me when I was going under. Everyone's like, wow, he's getting ultra defensive about this. It's like he feels like he's being personally attacked by the title. No, not at all. I'm just saying it's not very mildly infuriating. Okay, whatever. Postal worker cooks steak on a truck dashboard to showcase inhumane working conditions during extreme heat. It's really hot on the dashboard. Oh my God. 11, 12, 12:30. That looks like a cooked steak. Medium rare. I wonder if he actually ate it or not. I'd be curious. I feel like I'd be a little bit skeptical, even if it looked proper. I'd be like, it was cooked on a dashboard in a plastic bag. The plastic probably melted into it a little bit, so maybe not. But otherwise, I guess if it was on a grill on the dash, well, I hope that they get some AC installed in there, because that seems necessary. How you gonna go and put a fake pattern on the top of a pastry, making me think it's got some beautiful, like, cinnamon swirls inside, and then it just ends up looking like the surface of the moon if it was dyed green? Absolutely unacceptable. Really, really destroys my craving for sweets. Maybe it still tastes good, though. I don't know. I live with 2 grown men. Just tell me why. That's impressive. I mean, that seems like you have to try for it to be that bad. Because that's more inconvenient when you're just trying to find whatever utensil that you have to use to eat. You have to dig through, worry about, like, slicing your hand on a knife or something. It's not that difficult when you pull them out of the dishwasher. Don't you have them in individual sections and you would just put them down in each of the 4 things in there? This is more difficult to achieve than it would be to just put them in their own sections to begin with. You have to try to be this bad. Oh God, as someone who likes to keep things neat in my house, this is very, very bothersome. Oh God. I've been bamboozled. Viking Revolution. Oh wow. It's kind of rude. Why'd you go and do a thing like that? Like, that's extra unnecessary packaging too. all in the name of saving a little bit of what probably costs like 0.05 cents in order to fill up one of those things. And then you go and add in extra plastic in order to be able to put in just a little bit less that people won't realize. That's a good way to not have repeat customers. It just seems so short-sighted to do this. Why? You're just gonna make people mad, then they're not gonna buy it again. Is that the whole plan? Just like sell a bunch once and then exit the company, that's all? My mom and I went to Burlington For Shoes and found out that nobody cares about human decency there. Kind of reminds me of how the shoe section looked at Ross when I went there a couple of times earlier on in life. Try to pick up some shoes on the cheap with my mom, and it was like, couldn't figure out, like, are some of the shoes on the shelf used? Did people like take their existing shoes and then like swap them with the shoes that were there previously? Because some of them just like didn't look very new. It's kind of weird. We're not talking about a place that sells used shoes that are fancy Jordans wrapped inside of the saran wrap. Not that kind of used shoes. Just those seem like somebody's worn them. They seem a little dirty. And they're not. And then you'd have like one of the shoes and then you'd be like, where's the other one? I don't know why is it just the single shoe over here? Yeah, people aren't entirely considerate when it comes to places where you kind of have to, take something off the shelf, look at it, and then put it back if you don't end up wanting it. Turns out that people are pretty bad at that for the most part, and everything trends towards entropy. Yep. Do the same work, get paid less. New starting wages, $12 an hour, 18 plus, $11 an hour, 16 to 17 years old, $8.50 an hour, 14 to 15 years old. Huh. Seems like a strange way to tempt people into getting a job. Hey, look, are you 14 to 15 years old? Do you want to work? Well, come on down, because you'll be getting paid $3.50 less an hour than someone who just happened to have been born a few years before you. I mean, you have the same job. There's no difference there, but you're just getting paid less. So, don't you still want to work here? Why wouldn't you? There's nothing other than your birth date that's causing you to be paid less. This is very ageist of them. Rude. Her hair is right in my face. Where is my plane going? Well, it's blasting off into outer space. Did you forget that you signed up for a Virgin Galactic test flight? Because that seems like a pretty important thing to keep in mind. You would have thought that those cost like probably several $100,000 for a ticket. You would have thought you get a little bit more space in between you and the person in front of you so that you wouldn't like have their hair covering the monitor on your screen. Also, they should probably be in a spacesuit or something like that. So, yeah, not looking too good for that test flight, eh? Was it worth several $100,000 to go to the moon with somebody's hair in your face? Designers know how this feels. Me Googling transparent images, fake PNGs. Oh my God, the story of my life. Me trying to get the video game logo to put in the thumbnail. And it's like, okay, I search logo PNG for whatever video game I'm trying to get the logo for. And then I'm like, oh, that looks good. And then I download it. And then I boot it up into Photoshop and it has the tiling in the background. I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then I Control A, I copy it, and then it pastes the whole thing over into the thumbnail. And I'm like, wait a second, it pasted it with the thing that was part of the image? The image had the tiling in the back. God dang it. Been absolutely destroyed. How could you do this to me? And the top for the last month. Sunlight through the window melted my keyboard. What? Do you live inside a magnifying glass? I'm sorry, but imagine if your fingers were there. I don't, is this mildly infuriating on behalf of like the window? Because I don't think any keyboard is gonna melt under anything other than way too high a temperature for anyone to be typing in. Like that would have melted your hand too. Oh my God, bro. You need to put some blinds up or something. That's a hazard to your health. Imagine if you just had your hands resting there on the keyboard. All of a sudden you feel your fingers start to boil. That's terrifying. What the heck? You need to replace the window with some glass that isn't like curved. I don't know, but something needs to be done. Oh my God. That's it for the last month of Mildly Infuriating. Hopefully you've been infuriated. If you have been infuriated, make sure to check out our sponsor, the like button. Also sub to the channel, hit the bell, and check the playlist for more mildly infuriating if you just want to be more infuriated. Or you can just check the last mildly infuriating video by clicking up here, latest Mary music upload down below it. And keep in mind, wow, so cool, previews of new quality content. Isn't that great? Okay, see you next time.